So welcome back. Now, David. Unmute yourself, David.
There we are. Good afternoon, everyone. Lovely to see you all again. Particular Emma and Gary. Emma's been missing from our Wednesday morning sessions, so good to see you back, Emma. And welcome to Aileen also. And maybe one or two other new people will join us over the course of the next 5 or 10 minutes. And just as I said that, someone else is joining us. First of all, to those who may have noticed, I sent out the first email. My name's David, by the way, for anyone that doesn't remember who I am, from the Varapunya Meditation Center. And Ajahn normally looks to me to make a few introductory remarks before we get into our full program. And I was just going to say, I was very mindless when I sent out the email, because I sent out the email that went to some, if not all of you, without the link. And I had to send out a second one with the link again. And just as I sent out the link, one or two people emailed me to say, where's the link? So I'll try and remember not to do that again. Also, just to say, I've been corresponding with the Health Village about restarting face-to-face. And that's been going on for probably about 4 or 5 weeks now. The Health Village, where we started these Mindfulness Mondays, and of course, those of you that were there will remember that sometimes we had 20, 25 people. Over the 2 sessions, we probably had 30 people on most months. So they can't accommodate that at the moment, and it's doubtful they will, even when the lockdown rules are eased in a month or so. So we're looking for an alternative venue in the region of the city centre that would be accessible for city council people and accessible for NHS people around the city, and of course members of the public as well. And I think there's Alison joining us. Hello, Alison, welcome.
Hello, David, and my apologies for my lateness.
That's okay, don't worry. And so the Credo, where we run the courses, that's a bit small, even with social restrictions lifted. At the most, we could probably comfortably accommodate 15 to 20 people there. So if anyone's aware of a larger place in and around the city centre, not far from the city council or the health village, where maybe we could restart, even for a small rental fee. I've had discussions with NHS about maybe they would cover the cost of a rental fee if we had to rent some other accommodation. So the question is, if anyone's aware of any premises where we might accommodate 25, 30 people that we could get access to, even on a rental basis, would you let me know, please? Because we're coming up when the restrictions in the main may be lifted that would allow us now to restart without too much social distancing, even indoors. Okay. So moving on, I was thinking, what will I say? Because Ajahn and I do not plan this. And indeed, I may say something that he then scratches his head and thinks, how will I link to this? How will I connect to what David's been saying? And a thought came into my head from a session I did with a group last week, a new group we're working with. And it was to say something about this business of creating a habit of mindfulness meditation and creating the habit of taking it into our everyday lives. Because it really is only of any value, as we often say, if the knowledge and skills we learn through mindfulness meditation we take into everyday life. That's certainly been my experience, and of course that's what the Buddha discovered. Without going into Buddha's teaching too much, he discovered that mindfulness meditation taken into our everyday lives brings peacefulness and calmness and the ability to see clearly when otherwise this clouded mind that we have, we call it the monkey mind or the wild horse mind or the puppy dog mind, whatever we want to call it, our mind doesn't see clearly unless we create the conditions to see clearly. Just like we need to create the conditions to grow, I don't know, courgettes. If we create the right conditions for growing courgettes, we get beautiful courgettes that we can eat with a salad. But if we create the wrong conditions, then our courgettes can look a bit bent, a bit wonky, a bit little, and a bit sad. And I know from my own experience how difficult it can be if we don't create that habit. And especially having created the habit, breaking the habit and trying to get back to it. I went off for a week with my wife to meet with my stepdaughter in Yorkshire a few weeks ago. And the place we were staying in and the weather wasn't particularly conducive to my regular morning practice. And I have to admit, for a week, I broke my practice quite often. And I found it very difficult to get back into that practice in the following weeks. The habit that had been created over months and years suddenly left me. And it took several weeks to get back into that habit. And those of you who have been on the course we run will remember we emphasize again and again the importance of creating intention, motivation, and commitment. Every time we sit down to practice, just spending a few moments recreating that intention, recreating the motivation, recreating the commitment to settle down for half an hour or whatever period of time, to find our correct posture, to bring our mind into the room, joining the body and breath. So I thought I would just mention this because I know as we come out of lockdown, lots of people are thinking about getting away for a break, going away to visit family and friends. I'm certainly desperately waiting to be able to fly to Australia, which seems to be getting further away, not closer. So I've got family and grandchildren out there. But it's worth remembering that as we look for these opportunities, we should not forget the importance of maintaining the habit of our practice, even on our travels, because it's so easy to get out of the habit. And the importance when we practice every morning or whenever we practice, creating the intention, creating the motivation, recreating the commitment, so that when we sit down for our formal practice, we know that we will practice for that period of time. And even if we think it's not a good practice, we have to remember that there is no such thing as not a good practice. Even if we're aware that our thoughts are disturbing us, our posture is not what it should be, as long as we have the awareness that that is happening and we settle again and continue the practice. So whatever your practice, whenever you practice, how you practice, where you practice, I'm sharing simply that I discovered myself that having broken the habit, recommitting to intention, recommitting the motivation, recommitting the commitment to practice is really, really important. And it's so easy to forget that. We come into the room in a hurry, we sit down in a hurry, we spend the next 15 minutes trying to settle. When if we simply spend a few minutes before we sit down to practice formally, with the intention of taking it out into our everyday lives, our practice can be more valuable, more meaningful, and hopefully more complete too. So Ajahn, I thought I would share that because that was a recent experience of mine, and it's taken me all this time to get back into my regular practice. So it comes to all of us, no matter how long we've been practicing. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, so thank you very much for this message, David, and also reminder for all of us that practice, practice, practice. I remember the last session, immediately the last session, I went to the King Roms for a couple of days. And that was my break. And many of you, having heard me going away, were very excited and very happy that Achan finally is getting holiday. So one good story I come up on this trip. We met one man from Aberdeen. He's been living in that mountain for a couple of weeks now. And then one night we had a camp together. And while the discussion going on, and I asked him, what do you do? Yeah, the simple question, what do you do? And he replied me back such a profound answer. He said, you're asking a farmer's question to a wanderer. Yeah? So you're asking a farmer's question to a wanderer. And we all are farmers. We're working every single day. And that's why we have so many questions. What I'm going to do today? What I'm going to, where I'm going to go today? And which is not the question for the wanderers. That they will wander wherever they want. There is no specific things that they're going to do. All they will do is enjoy. Enjoy wherever they are, moment by moment, here and now. And the practice of a meditation, in a way, we have to keep our mind in that way. Mindfulness itself means being mindful. And here, not just being a mindful, remember to be mindful, that David was reflecting. Remember to be mindful that what am I doing? And in this moment of being a mindful, what we have to do? Letting go of everything. Yeah, what I'm going to do. Letting go of everything, not the farmer's question here. Do not be a farmer that I am going to go and do something. Here, letting go of everything but this moment, being here in this moment. Can you do that? And again, allowing yourself to leave behind every work, all the responsibilities, all the duties, yeah, and even the thoughts. Do not think about what had been and do not think about what is going to be. And this is known as being here and now. And that is a mindfulness. And what will happen after that? And this is the very weird thing. We are very active all the time. And if nothing is doing, then what I'm going to do here is like a feeling of a useless, feeling of so nothing, yeah? No meaning of being me at all. So we always perceive ourselves as being me when we are doing something. So that's why we need to do even just a washing a cups. Yeah? We have to do it. We can't put it off. And for me as well, whenever there's a good light, sunshine, I like to sit outside and then began to see the weeds. And that's how it plays. Yeah? But in the practice, what normally we do, after we have given up everything, the past, the future, the work, the duties, all what we have is this moment of a simple breath. Yeah? Can you think of that breath, that it is there? How often you remind yourself to watch your breath? Or do we have this uh, reminding ourselves to, okay, now I don't have to do anything. Let's pay attention to this breath. And it is not easy. Normally, what happens? We normally, the moment when we see, we immediately grasp, we immediately multiply, and we immediately go on. Yeah? We immediately go on to the proliferation. Now here, the practice is basically is to see clearly what's going on around you in your mind. And then not just the seeing, we have to know that I'm seeing it. Yeah? And here comes the real mindfulness. Seeing it, and then you know it, that I am seeing this, is mindfulness here. And here again, it is not just enough by just seeing it, knowing that what you are seeing, you have to understand it properly too. What am I seeing it? And how am I seeing it? And this moment is the most crucial time. And this is how we will realize that every sort of things that I am seeing is really different. But normally what happens, whenever we see things, whenever we hear things, we interpret it and then we react it. Yeah? And normally what happens that, particularly a person who hasn't developed the mindfulness, what happens is that we see it and we immediately react it. We don't see the interpretation. We do not see the proliferation. We do not see the comments on the object that we have seen or hear. Now here, practice of a meditation is to see that. As soon as you come across, able to see that, okay, I'm seeing this object, I'm seeing these emotions, I am in this situation now. What am I making it? How am I interpreting it? How am I proliferating it? And then after that, how am I taking action? So we see the series of action going on in our mind, and that's how we will be able to recognize it. That how am I observing these things? Now practice is like that. All what you do is to seeing is inevitable, you're gonna see it. Now practice is to recognize that I am interpreting it and then I am going to react it. So ability to recognize the interpretation and reaction is the real practice. And it takes a lot of time. Yeah, it takes significant amount of the practice. The more you practice, the better you will become. Initially, I remember when we started this course at the CRID in health center, I asked, do you know where is the breath? Quite a few people, they don't know where is the breath. Yeah? And then I asked, do you know how to watch the breath? How do you watch the breath? Yeah? Few people even ask that. But after practicing, gradually, we realize this is the breath. After practicing, gradually we realize that this is how you play with the breath. And then as you play with the breath, what happened? Mind becomes calm, began to enjoy, began to let go, and began to file it, distill, filing it. Which one is better? Which one I should keep? Which one I should leave behind? Life become much, much better, more fruitful, isn't it? So that's why in the practice of a mindfulness meditation, it is not what is there, but it's about recognizing the interpretation and then recognizing that how are we engaging with it. So seeing it, knowing it, and understanding it. That is the key for today's practice. Okay? Seeing it, knowing it, and understanding it. And in order to see that, first we have to accept that this is happening. Yeah? And that's how we see it. Whatever is the present, whatever, any content, accepting it as like you have chosen to pay attention to it. It's there. And the moment when we pay attention to it and with the full acceptance of what's happening, it's like a miracle. It already transforms the way you look at it, the way you shape your life, the way you shape your thoughts. Okay? So that's why this is the practice that we have to see. Yeah? And in order to see it clearly, we have to accept it. The moment when we accept, we can see it properly. And then that seeing moment, we simply twist ourselves to know that, oh, I'm seeing this. And I call it the moment when you accept and see that, or call it recognize it, the whole journey for the healing process starts there. Attitude will change. Perception will change. Our awareness becomes more. And meanwhile, we will be in the present moment. Okay? In the present moment. So let's practice with this. Okay? First, seeing it, whatever is coming. Second, knowing it, that I am seeing it. And then third, understand it. And in this case, not the problem what you see. Try to observe the interpretation to it and then your reaction to it. Okay? So with this in mind, let's practice. So find out your comfortable positions. Sitting in a comfortable position and I will invite you to gently close your eyes, and you don't have to look at me. You don't have to look at the screen. So after closing your eyes, I will lead you to the practice. Okay? So sitting comfortable. So bring your attention to the moment here and now. Relax your entire body, and leaving all your responsibilities aside. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Like a man who is wandering in the mountain. Imagine yourself as this wanderer. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. Just be here and now. Observing the entire body as you're sitting. Checking whether you are sitting comfortably or not. If there is any tension, let them relax. And mentally, letting go of every duties and responsibilities, every work aside. Whatever thoughts, whatever plans you had, leave aside. Don't worry about what's going to happen after this meditation. Simply observing the present moment awareness. Aware of the body, aware of the mind. This moment. And you will realize when there is nothing to do, mind is coming to the senses, coming to your own body. You realize there's a breath is coming, incoming breath and outgoing breath. It is a natural breath that is flowing, incoming breath, outgoing breath. And closely paying attention to that breath. What happens? What's going on? Is it a harsh breath or it is smooth breath? Are you feeling very tight? Or are you forcing this incoming breath and outgoing breath? Where do you feel this breath coming in and going out without imagining? Let the body speak with you. Where can you feel incoming breath and outgoing breath as it comes in and as it goes out? It could be in your nose or in your belly. Choose one or another. And consciously making a decision that you will be paying attention to that decided object for some times. So as you breathe in, bring your attention fully to the breathing in. at that particular place. When you breathe out, again, bring it fully to the out breath at that particular place. And that's the start. Breathing in, breathing out. So quietening your mind from all the distraction, observing incoming breath, outgoing breath. If you're feeling comfortable with the rising, falling as breathe in and breathe out take place, paying attention to that. Rising, falling as breathe in and breathe out. So breathing in, breathing out. Now, as you're paying attention to the breath, obviously mind will not stay with the breath long time. It will go off thinking, it will go off to the sound, it will go off to your plants, the heat, the cold. That moment, seeing it, that mind is there to observe that object, that phenomena. Knowing it, and understand that this is there. When you understand that this is there, how are you making it? What is your interpretation to it? Or are you trying to react to it? I like this feeling, I like that thought. Are you acting like wanting to keep it? Or I don't like this thought, I don't like this heat, I don't like this hearing, the noise, the distraction. Are you acting in a way trying to push it away? So observing those mental state of interpretation and your reaction. Understanding the reaction is for the sensual pleasure or for the existential self-existence, or perceiving that what I know is the right, I want it to be. And here, by seeing, knowing, and understanding, we are not indulging ourselves into the sensual pleasures. We are not projecting ourselves for the existence. We are not holding any views as the definite one, but understanding that these are subject to change. Our breath, incoming breath, outgoing breath, rising, falling. We're simply observing it naturally, normally, like living, sitting at the bank of the river, watching the river flow. So breathing in, breathing out, rising, falling, and whatever other things arises, seeing clearly, knowing mindfully, and understanding its true nature. Whatever sensations arises, rather than reacting to it, observing them objectively by seeing it, knowing it, and understanding. And back to breath, breathing in, breathing out, rising, falling. Try to notice your interpretation, your reaction to any objects that arise, any phenomena that comes. There will be a thought of giving up, opening your eyes. There will be a thought of moving your hands. Those moments, rather than acting, watching that interpretation, and mindful, breathing in, breathing out, rising, falling. Breathing in, breathing out, rising, falling. And as you hear the gong, slowly opening your eyes and coming out from meditation. Okay. So this is a short practice that you can take away and practice at home and practice in your daily life. Yeah? Just a few tips I would like to give you further, that acceptance comes into, when the moment when we are watching this temptation to drive negative away. Yeah? Accepting that. And then rather than driving those negative away, welcoming them with a big laugh, like you are expecting someone who is visiting you. And then you will be and opening your door and welcoming them with a big laugh and saying, "Oh, I know that you're coming." We're greeting with a great, with a great honorably. And then meanwhile, okay, your job is done. Goodbye. Okay, so with this, floor is yours. Anybody has got anything to ask or anything to share, you're most welcome. Don't be shy. Okay, Carmina.
I find negativity drains me and leaves. I feel like it affects my immune system and everything. If somebody's like negative to me, then I have to build up positivity. I think it doesn't leave me in a good place, and I don't feel good about myself for that. But I feel that I feel more stronger if I'm positive and if everything in my life is going positive. But when I come across negativity, it sort of blocks my flow inside my body. I just want to run the other way, actually. I just run away from negativity.
I think quite a lot as well. Just to let you know that there is no negative and there are no positive. It's our perception. Okay? And then meanwhile, if you have perceived in that way, do not condition yourself that if when I am positive, everything is perfect. When there is a negative, everything is bad. So do not condition yourself to be in that state. So be mindful, treating both equally. It comes, it will go. It comes. Now I'm here to observe, and then it will go. That's why today's practice is quite good for you. Whatever the situation is, doesn't matter. Watching how you're interpreting it, and then what is your reaction to it. And if you interpret any situation, any problem that you are facing in a right way, what happens? Your reaction will be right. They say, if inside is right, outside also right. So we have to shape, or we put our attitude into the right direction, and with that, then all the actions becomes perfect. And with this, what happens? No trouble, no good, no bad. So we can be living a mindful way, mindfully. Dharma Saki, Dr. Dharma, you raise a hand. Do you want to say something? Oh, he's on. He's away. Anyone? Will wait for anybody else. Anyone? Yes, Alison.
I listened very carefully to what you were saying then, and I understood what Carmina was talking about, but I'm not sure I really understood what you meant. I mean, negativity seems to me to be a very destructive, and I didn't quite understand what you meant by it doesn't have to be. It's how you perceive it. Did
Yeah.
I get that wrong, or I'm
Oh,
not sure?
You're absolutely right. Things are on its own, naturally on its own. It's how we perceive it as negative and a positive. When we don't like it, that is a negative. When we like it, that is a positive. Same song, the moment when we like it, It's beautiful. But the moment when something is going on, that becomes not beautiful. You want to switch it off. Yeah?
So
You
how
switch
do
it off.
you, how does mindfulness help in dealing with that?
So today's practice, that's why I was referring. It's not about what you see. It's not about which situation you are in. Your interpretation to it, how you interpret that situation, and then your reaction is the matter. And so that's why in our practice today, I was leading, see that what you are in, right? The situation. So you see it and know that as well and understanding it. The moment when you understand that, that shapes our mind indifferently. Our
Okay,
attitude changes and then
okay,
everything changes, right? So that's how mindfulness meditation will help us to keep us in the right direction to be happy in both ways, negative and positive. Okay? So thank you. Dr. Sakya?
thank you.
Sorry, Dr. Sakya, I think David wants to say something.
Yeah, okay.
Just on the same subject, I think a good analogy is we like to have a nice sunny summer. If it rains, we see that as negative. Yeah, it's all about the situation, the condition. Our mind perceives it that way. But if we were in Oregon just now, we'd welcome a little bit of cloud, where at the moment it's about 110 degrees. So if you like, I think what Ajahn trying to say is, whatever we see is what the eyes see. It's our mind that interprets that. And that's why we have in our teaching and practice the idea of duality. We tend to put everything in black and white, good, bad, right, wrong, want, don't want. And that's because the mind interprets things in that way. But if we condition the mind to see things as they are, rather than as the mind perceives them to be, then, if you like, we're in the middle ground. We're not judging all the time black, right, black, white, right, wrong, good, bad.
Yeah.
So it's about seeing things as they are and accepting things as they are, the way they are, rather than perceiving them to be in this state of good, bad, right, wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Actually, that's the same simile, the same story came up this morning when I was teaching in Oregon. They were saying, they say, very hot. Wish we are in Scotland. And then I told them, oh, wish I am there. Okay, thank you, David, for adding a little bit more. And Dharma Sakya, yeah, doctor.
Thank you, Bante. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you well. Yeah.
First of all, thank you, Bante, for giving a guided meditation. As I wrote to you, my classmate from Kathmandu, Mrs. Vijay Lakshmi Rai, is also joining. I hope she got some idea how to practice meditation, because she has never practiced meditation and she wanted to learn. Now, my question, Bante, is from this morning.
Okay.
Yeah, usually when I wake up, Bante, sometimes I wake up feeling very bored. Sometimes I wake up feeling very irritated. And as usual, when I sit down for my formal sitting meditation, within few minutes, the feeling goes away and become quiet and calm. But this morning, I woke up feeling very sad because of what is happening in Nepal, especially what happened last Saturday, 10 days ago, in my family. Obviously, when I went to bed, I was thinking of that, and I woke up feeling very sad. And when I sat down for my formal usual meditation, I could spend only a few minutes with body awareness and anapanasati. My attention went immediately to my mental state and how I was feeling. So I thought maybe I should concentrate, make my thought as meditation object, as in Chittanupasana. So I spent a whole hour observing my mental state. Slowly, my sadness decreased, but it didn't go away. I still feel sad now.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, is that the right thing to do? Just observe your thoughts, observe your mental state, as advised by Buddha in Chittanupasana.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, this is
you know, from, from, from medical point of view, the
yeah.
grief period can last up to 6 months.
Uh-huh.
But I was just thinking with my meditation practice, hopefully it will not last as long as that. If you can
Okay.
give
So
any advice, I'll be
first
grateful.
of all, first of all, do not expect that how long will it take to overcome.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the first advice. The moment when you expect that within this short period of a time after practicing meditation, I will be overcome. No, do not expect that one. The job is to practice. And do not expect that after practice the sadness go. And do not practice to let go of that sadness too. And obviously bereavement takes long time. A long time to heal. And especially if a person who is very close to us, then it will take long time. It requires significant amount of work within yourself and as well as the support from the other members of the family and friends. Then it will help to overcome that bereavement. And do not think that meditation alone will help. You need other aids as well. You have to talk and you have to do other activities as well. Okay? So in the practice of a meditation, obviously, it helps us to recognize that what's going on. And our job is to be mindful that this is happening to me. And when this is happening to me, and this moment, rather than why, rather than the questioning of I am meditating, I supposed to be better, I supposed to have no such thoughts. I should not be having that feeling. So these shouldn't have in your mind. All what we are doing is observing it, recognizing that this is going on. And then stick with our own practice that, okay, 1 hour meditation, I'm going to do it 1 hour meditation. So not giving it up because of the sadness, because of the other any responsibilities. And with that routine, gradually we become aware of these mental states, of this sadness and sorrow and lamentations and things. And eventually, as we pay attention to it again and again, we will be able to gain the right understanding that things that arises are subject to change. Things that are subject to change, inevitable that will last long. So gradually the wisdom come. And now here, practice of a meditation makes you worse to feel those feelings. Do you know why? Because you're aware of that. But if you do not practice and if you take a refuse of alcohol, drugs, or any other activities, you think that there is no that such feelings, but it's there gravely sitting in you and taking a root in your mind. But the practice of a meditation is not allowing you to have a roots in your mind. You're knowing that this is coming, it is there. And that realization, although maybe very strong in initial stage, but because of knowing it, seeing it, understanding it, it won't take roots in our minds and our heart. And then gradually, because of that realization, letting go will slowly begin. That's why I call it the moment when we know what's there, healing began. The moment when we accept it is there, it's already one step ahead. So we are already one step ahead. So that's why practice of a meditation help us to recognize it more clearly. And our practice is to practice, not to think of letting it, overcoming of it. Overcoming is its own work that will happen over the period of a time. But our work is to work. Right? So it's like I normally give a simile of planting an apple tree. We can't force apple tree to give us a fruit. Our job is to look after, protect, watering it. And eventually, when everything matures, the fruit is there. And that's same with our minds and hearts too. And this is quite interesting, that very hard as well to deal with the bereavement, and which will take a long time, and it takes a lot of support. It needs a lot of support. And in here, always I recall about the bereavement, that in Asia, it's easy to overcome bereavement than in the West, because in Asia, there is a community always there to support. There is a ceremonies after ceremonies. After somebody died in your family, there will be a ceremonies after a couple of days, the 7th days, the 12th days, the 45 days, the 3 months time, like that. And in those moments, all the family members are coming to your house. Although it will be a little difficult preparing food for all the family members, it's a big hassle, but yet you will have a feeling that, yes, there are our members, or our family members are still there to support us. So there is easy to overcome from that bereavement. Whereas in our West, I have experienced that it's very difficult. It's isolated. And then with that, whenever somebody passed away, it is very difficult to overcome from that bereavement. And so that's why I always tell that we should have some form of a ceremonies, so that members and family members come together. And that is another reason I also started at the center, that whenever one of our members dies, then encourage our other members to visit as well. So with that, then will help to overcome the bereavement. Right? So do not try to overcome that sadness immediately, and do not expect that how long will it take, and then work is to be done, and gradually you will overcome. Right? So I hope I answer you, and my condolences to you as well.
No, okay, but thank you. No, I was not trying to get rid of it. I was trying to just trying to observe it. I know it will last. I know it will take time. I was just observing it. My attention went immediately to my mental state, not to my breath or my body awareness. I will continue to do that one day. Thank you for your advice. Thank you.
Yeah, continue practicing. Yes, Kathleen? Unmute yourself.
Can I share something which I don't know if it's helpful or not, but when someone dies, I try to get it in my head that I should be celebrating their life. It's a celebration of the fact I knew them and all the happy memories that I had with them and the happiness. So when I feel sad, I try to think of the happy times, I suppose, to counter the sadness. I know it doesn't go away and it takes a long time to grieve, but I think we should be happy that we knew someone and pleased that we had the time with them. And I think when someone dies, they never leave us anyway. They're always with us in what they gave us, and in our hearts, they're still there. So I don't know if that's helpful or not, but that's how I try to deal with loss, with bereavement.
Mm.
That
Yeah.
was meditation, obviously, the other things, but I think that's quite a big thing for the mindset. And I think
Yeah.
it takes a long time to get over bereavement.
Yeah. It is. It does
That's all
take.
I want to say.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. It does take long time.
I think exactly what Kathleen has said is very, very important. But also what I think is that person's energy
Mhm.
cannot disappear, cannot disappear. Energy doesn't disappear. So although they've gone from our lives, their energy is still around. That's how I look at it. And as you were saying, in the Asian countries, what helps them is all the people coming to acknowledge the death. Also, that an Asian person believes that we must all die sometime. We don't
Yeah.
know when, but we must all die sometime. And also that they're going possibly to a new place, a
Mhm.
different life. So I think all these things can be helpful.
Yeah.
But what you were talking about today, the one word that I will never forget, and I've used it many times before, but to accept. Acceptance is a big, big thing in life. A big,
Yeah.
big thing. It's hard, but it's important. It's
Mm.
important.
It is. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else would like to share or a question on your practice? Hmm. Okay. When it comes to the practice up here, everybody went quiet.
Bhante, can I just say, in fact, the same question came last Saturday. You know, in Amravati, they do meditation workshop every Saturday from 2 to 4.
Yeah.
And one of the people who attended brought the same question. She was saying the same thing. The person has died, but she still remembers the things her friend used to say
Mm.
again and
Yeah.
again. And that brings it back, the
Yeah.
memory of the dead. Thank you, Bhante. Anyway, I know I will try.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
In regards to that one,
Is that Chittanupasana, Bhante, to observe your thoughts and feeling?
yes, that is, yeah, observing your own mind, yeah. And
Yeah.
what's going on in your mind is that that is the Chittanupassana, the seeing
Yeah.
in your mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When,
Yeah.
when I was doing it, I thought if I'm observing my thoughts, that's the Chittanupasana. Then feeling also Vedanupasana. And why I'm feeling that way, I was thinking of last Saturday. So that's the
Oh,
Manupasana. That's how I was thinking.
that is too
That's correct
conceptualizing.
interpretation.
That is conceptualizing. You shouldn't go with that.
Is
That
that
this is
maybe I was going wrong? I will just stick to my thought. That's the Chittanupasana. And just
our practice. Our practice is to recognize it, that this is happening to me, but not categorizing that this is this and that is that. If you are going into that way, then it's like a conceptualizing rather than seeing the reality. We are making it, oh, this is this, that is that. And with that, you will be having the thought that, oh, yes, I have understood it. Oh, I have seen it, like that. And that can take you to the wrong perception that, oh, I have excelled the practice. So rather than conceptualizing that this is this and that is that, our job is to practice to notice what's going on. And then it's not about gaining the knowledge, but it's about realizing so that we can be free from any attachment to it. So although what you have described is correct, but I would encourage you not to conceptualize it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
I was just about to say that about the bereavement in the past, before my parents were alive, whenever I was invited to give a talks in a funerals, I feel nothing in my heart because I can't feel. when parents are not there? How do you feel? I didn't have that thought. I didn't have that feeling. So as a result, I always excuse, saying that I don't know what are you feeling, but I will be speaking only from the scripture, what it says. But after my parents died, then I realized, how do you feel? So now I feel confident to speak about it on that. Okay? So I think Margaret want to share something. No? Okay. I thought you.
Same thing with me one day, because as a doctor, we see so many people dying in the hospital. Especially when I was working in the Department of Elderly. In one weekend, it is usual for 4 or 5 elderly people to die. So I just go there and certify. And it's just a part of a job. Until actually it happens to you, it doesn't. It is just a part of the job.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
thank you very much, Bhante, and thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Good. Okay. What about the practice that did anybody manage to recognize seeing, knowing, and understanding, an ability to recognize your interpretation to any sound that you are hearing or any thought that is coming? Or when you are hearing me speaking, oh, Achan, you should stop talking so I can meditate? or or should speak a little bit slower like that. So these are.
I would like to say something, Ajahn, if
Yes,
you don't mind, related to that. As when you start like closing your eyes and getting the right position, etc. Immediately my mind goes to wow, this is so comfortable. Actually, like I don't have to do anything just now. This is really like a nice position to be. And then because you said that in the beginning, like seeing, knowing, and understanding, then immediately I start to think, wait a minute, I'm contextualizing right now. So I'm making it. So let me just enjoy it and stop thinking about it, actually, just like understanding what's going on here. Yeah, I have that. Yeah.
Okay, lovely, great. Thank you everyone for Carmina, one more, okay?
Yes, when we're doing a meditation, you're saying to free our mind and everything. But, sometimes before you come in, your mind likes to play tricks on you. Like I saw Emma's nails, and I thought, oh, Emma's got lovely nails, and I thought, oh no, I should be clearing my mind to start doing my meditation and my intentions and everything like that. So yes, I'm guilty of my mind tracking away just at the beginning when we're starting.
Okay, no worries.
That's me.
Emma, next time do not show your nails, okay? Okay, Margaret.
Well, I had difficulty today hearing you because the gardeners came as soon as you started and doing all the municipal grass round about the house. So they've just newly stopped.
Okay. Right.
The timing was very bad.
Okay. So I will tell the watch off that your timing is bad, okay?
Tell the gardeners, don't come back when there's meditation on.
Okay, so we'll have David for the last, and then we'll do the loving kindness to finish off. Okay?
I think it's just to remind ourselves that we have all these distractions round about us, and they're a gift to us to practice with. Life, when we have distractions in real life, and as I keep saying on our credo casas and elsewhere, life is our practice. So when we, in our meditation practice, have these external sounds and any other distraction, it's a gift for us to practice with.
Yeah.
And if we're aware of it, then there is no good or bad practice. We're aware that the sound is there and it's distracting us. So regard it as a gift rather than a hindrance.
And last, I would like to say that you are not alone. Okay? Distraction, you are not alone. Like yesterday, I was teaching 280 students online. And then majority of them said after 6 days of a retreat, why my mind is still wandering? Why I can't meditate? Okay, so you are not alone. So don't be disappointed. All what we need is to continue practice and practice. Being mindful, as David started saying, we need to continue practicing and be mindful of what we do. So I would add saying, just remember to be mindful. So with this, we will end here and just give you some information that we're still going on with the evening chantings. And after the evening chanting of half an hour, I normally give a short guided meditation for 10 minutes. 10-15 minutes, and then practicing meditation for about an hour. And then Tuesday evenings, Tuesday evenings are still going on at the same time, 7 to 8 or 9. And again, on Tuesday evening on Zoom, you are invited to have a discussion if you would like to. Okay, but again, if you don't want to join the Zoom, you can join on Facebook and ask questions as well. Meanwhile, David is still running a Zoom morning practices on Wednesday morning. So you are also invited to join. And in the future, there's possibility of opening our center and also meditation sessions in the city. So tune in, and especially continue practicing. And if you have any questions or concerns in regards to meditation, in regards to the Dhamma, again, you are most welcome to email, message, or even knock the door. If I'm there, I will open, okay? And we'll have a chat. With this, we'll end here, okay? And let's practice loving kindness meditation to finish off. So sitting comfortably. So bring your attention to the moment, here and now. Leaving all your responsibilities aside. Letting go of everything but this moment. And allow yourself to leave behind all the works and the thoughts of the day that has passed, or the evening to come. No duties, no responsibilities. Imagine being a wanderer rather than a farmer. And be mindful of your body and the mind as you are sitting here and now. Feel the breath as it comes and as it goes, as though you have invited, as though this is the only thing you have. Breathe in, know that you are breathing in. Breathe out, you know that breathing out. as though you are escorting your breath, but not pushing, not regulating it. Let it be its own as it comes, as it goes. Doesn't matter where you feel, let it happen. Try not to change it in any way. Try not to push, try not to change, accept as they are. Whatever the present moment contains, no denying, accept it as if you had chosen to pay attention to. So breathing in and breathing out, whether in the nose or the belly. And whatever is happening, gently noticing the temptation to react, to interpret, seeing it, knowing it, understanding it. How am I observing it? How am I interpreting it? Embracing it, but not keeping it. Now gently bring your attention to feel the entire body. And bring that attention to your hand, feeling the sensations in your hand, onto your heart. And as you feel the beating heart generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself, I am well, I am happy, I am at peace. I am well, I am happy, I am at peace. Similarly, sharing loving kindness and compassion to all other sentient beings, far and wide, starting from near dear ones, visible and invisible beings in this world, or whatever beings there are, visible and invisible beings. May they be well, may they be happy, may they be at peace. May they be well, may they be happy, may they be at peace. May all beings be free from all the miseries, troubles of body and mind, and liberate themselves. May all beings be happy. And bring that attention to your eyes. Feel the tension in your eyes. And thought of opening of your eyes. And as you hear the gong, slowly opening up your eyes and reflecting for a while. What have you achieved today? Okay, so thank you everyone, and may you all be well and happy. Stay safe, take care, and have a good sleep. And we'll see you next month. Okay, take care. Satu.